Tips on organizing yourself for school and college. Back to school season is on the run. Students of all ages have prepared themselves for embracing the knowledge and education that school has to offer. From buying school supplies to getting the right outfit ready for the first day of school, students have prepared themselves for their educational journey. But what is it that is missing? This question is asked way too many times among students, their parents, and even teachers. How can I organize myself better for my educational career, whether it be school or even college? Keep on watching to know how to prepare yourselves fully for the scholastic years. Number 1. Use checklists. The fridge always seems like the perfect place to hang photos, souvenirs, lists of chores, and even school checklists. Children need to be constantly reminded of what they have for school, ranging from assignments to even school ceremonies. So keeping a checklist is a brilliant idea to keep everything at eye range. While parents can keep an eye at their child's schoolwork, the child himself is able to keep in mind forgotten assignments or projects. And even when you are done with an assignment, just cross it out to make sure you don't panic every time you check out the list. And if the wall or the fridge don't seem like good ideas, try Google Keep or just a simple notebook application on your phone. They work just as perfect and keep your walls from being scratched. Number 2, designate a study space. Whether you are an indoor person or an outdoor person, when you need to study, you just need to study. If you feel like studying in a room with no windows, then do so. And if flowers are your source of inspiration, then find a garden corner and make the butterflies your study buddy. No matter where it be, just find a study space and stick to it. You need all the necessary materials, stationery, paper, and study tools. You also need a suitable table and lamp. Every student, whether school or college, needs a designated study space. This place would be where all your books, pencils, papers, and even snacks are. Not all people are fortunate enough to have study room for themselves, but even separating a room with a table is good enough to make your own space. You really don't want to be changing this space, or else you will not only lose your material, but also your motivational mind. Even young children need a study space, but if a child cannot study unless a parent is nearby, then so be it. At least then, your eyes will be fully on your children and their progress in school. Number 3, set a designated study time. We all know the struggles of having a long day at work than a long day at home. Same goes for students. Waking up from their precious sleep to go to school is one thing, but having to put off sleep to finish homework is a whole other thing. Homework and assignments are essential factors in any school because they enhance the memory and a child's understanding. But not every moment is meant to be filled with studying. Setting a time for yourself as a student is very important to keep your sanity. This time should not be right after school because the student needs to rest. Take a moment to sit with your child and pick a time that suits both parties. Engaging your child and exchanging opinions motivates the children to stick by their decisions. And even if they don't have homework or projects, the designated time should be used for educational reasons. The child could read for pleasure, write out their daily journal, or even draw for fun. Also, while setting a time, try setting a plan. Write down what resources you're going to use, how many practice questions or exam papers you intend to do, how many times you plan to read the notes, or what study tips you'll put into practice. By always having a plan, you will use your time more efficiently and might just have some time to spare. Number 4, keep organized notebooks. Well, in other words, you have to organize yourself. This is the perfect tip you can ever give to a person with OCD. They would fall head over heels with this tip because their life is already super organized. But for those of us who can only work in a crowded, over-the-place environment, just stick to organizing your notebooks and your study place. As clutter attracts clutter, try decluttering at least once a week. This way you could be more organized. Try using bright colors to divide the book into different sections, or even use color code notebooks. Maybe using dividers can keep a distance between assignments and classwork. And even better, try the binders. They are super easy to work with, for you can always add to the book and remove from it. Like those report cards that you don't want your mom to see? Yeah, well, they always have a place in one of those binders. Number 5, set a deadline before the actual deadline. You know that deadline for an assignment that you've been putting off for weeks, and that book report that's due tonight at midnight. Yeah, that's the one. In order to avoid the sleepless nights to study, try setting a deadline for yourself before the actual assignment deadline. This way, you will force yourself to finish the work piled up on you, and at the same time, you will have time to really outdo yourself with your hidden creativity. And think about it this way. You would have extra time to revise and enough time to sleep. Number 6, work on one assignment at a time. Don't get carried away with trying to multitask and finish all assignments at once to beat the deadline. Work on one assignment at a time and give each piece of work its own value. Multitasking only leads to stress and more stress. Instead of worrying about one topic, you'll have to worry about more, and all at the same time. So try to go step by step. Worrying about one topic is already enough. Don't double the stress. Work on one assignment at once, or else the results that are to come are not the results you would deserve. But if you're working on a math assignment and the answer to the English question comes to mind, just jot it down on a piece of paper and put it aside to keep your focus on the task at hand. Number 7, learn to say no. As tempting as partying, going out, and relaxing sound, they all interfere in achieving your dreams, goals, and school assignments. If you really want to organize yourself, your time, and your life, you have to learn to say no. You have to set your priorities and your boundaries. Decide how many times you want to go out with your friends and how much time you want to devote to extracurricular activities. Set your boundaries and learn how to say no in order to stick to them. And never feel guilty for saying no. Keep in mind, it's not about being a busy student. It's about being an intelligent, effective student. Number 8, eliminate all distractions. Take a moment to think about what is keeping you from fulfilling your work. Whether it be your mobile phone, your TV, or your PlayStation, get rid of them by placing them in another room and keep your mind focused on the prize. So set a goal for yourself and eliminate all distractions before you start working on your set plan. Knowing that we are in the age of technology and internet, it's not easy to disable internet accessibility since some assignments depend on it. But in order to avoid being distracted, set a timer for yourself to challenge yourself to finish and beat the time. Number 9, use a timer or a stopwatch. As just mentioned, using a timer can help students challenge themselves by beating the set record for achieving an assignment. Also, with a clock ticking in your head, a sense of urgency is created in you as well as a need to stay focused. Try working in blocks of 40 minutes and even set a time for your breaks. Otherwise, your 10-minute break may go on till the dawn of the following day. Do you really want that? Number 10, review all the information you learned for the day. This may sound like a deal breaker, but trust me, it's worth it. Reviewing the key concepts you had gained for the day helps ensure students' understanding, thus they can stay on top of their material. Also, this revision gives students a chance to jot down any idea that is not well comprehended, so they have a chance to ask about it in the following session. If you feel that your day is already overwhelming and you don't have 20 minutes to spare for revision, leave it till the next day. But make sure not to leave it for any more than that because you want the information to be freshly engraved in your memory.